Here's your daily news roundup from 97.9 WGBW.
From the 97.9 WGBW newsroom, I'm Connie Fellman with this local news update. Starting tomorrow, you can get your morning cup of joe wrapped in a bit of love from students around Green Bay. The Green Bay Area School District announced the Cup of Kindness project. The partnership with Kavarna Coffee House celebrates student creativity and community connection through custom-designed cup sleeves. Students at Fort Howard Elementary and West High School designed the sleeves to share messages of encouragement and positivity. You can pick up your first Cup of Kindness tomorrow at Kavarna on Broadway. Organizers say they plan to hold a Cup of Kindness Day once a month, expanding the project to involve other coffee shops in the Broadway district. Students at Green Bay's East High School are also using their creativity and talent to help out their neighbors. Students from the Fine Art Institute at East are collecting donations at their spring concerts for the Eats for East school food pantry. The pantry serves about 200 people, including students from East High and Washington Middle School. Students encouraged people attending last night's choir and orchestra concerts to bring along non-perishable food items or hygiene products to donate to the pantry. School officials say the need for this service has increased significantly, and they work to keep the pantry stocked with culturally diverse foods. The pantry's location inside East High School lets anyone in the area schedule a time to walk to the pantry anytime they need food, removing the transportation barrier. If you missed last night's concerts, you can still support Eats for East at the upcoming band concert this coming Wednesday, May 20th. Packer fans have just hours left to wait for the NFL schedule to be released tonight, but we already know where one game will be played and where you can watch it. Netflix just announced they'll be streaming the NFL's first Thanksgiving Eve game between the Packers and Rams in Los Angeles. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. our time the night before Thanksgiving. The game will also be broadcast on one of our local stations, but which one hasn't been announced yet. You'd have to go all the way back to 1938 to find the last time the Packers played on a Wednesday night. That game was against the oldest team in the NFL, the Chicago Cardinals. Yep, the Cardinals were from Chicago back then. They've been playing there long before the Bears ever showed up. If you were hoping to be cheering on the Pack from Paris this year, you'll need to make other plans. The Packers will not be playing overseas this season. The NFL released the international matchups yesterday, 9 games in all, the most overseas games played yet. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says his goal is to get 16 international games per season. Green Bay drivers trying to get across the Tower Drive Bridge yesterday ran into some traffic troubles. Law enforcement had the bridge shut down to all traffic for several hours between Atkinson Drive and Webster Avenue. Green Bay police say they were called to a welfare check around 2:40 in the afternoon for an individual who was brought to safety by 5:30 p.m. The bridge reopened just before 6 last night. With news at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM, I'm Connie Fellman. 97.9 WGBW News.
With Civic Media News, I'm Terry Miller. A major tax and spending deal in Wisconsin has fallen apart after failing in the state Senate. Lawmakers let the bill go to a vote last night without enough support, and it failed 15-18, ending the special session. The plan had already passed the Assembly and included tax breaks on tips and overtime, along with funding for schools and property tax relief. Governor Tony Evers blamed a small group of lawmakers from both parties for blocking what he called a bipartisan deal. In a statement, Evers said some politicians chose the next election over helping families. 8 people tied to a fentanyl drug ring in Green Bay are now headed to prison after a federal investigation uncovered a large operation moving pills across the Midwest. Prosecutors say the group brought in hundreds of thousands of fentanyl pills, many bought in Arizona and sold in Wisconsin for huge profits. The longest sentence went to Ricky Chambers, who got 17 years after a jury found him guilty. Investigators say they seized more than 175,000 pills and found the group showing off cash and luxury items online. A former hot dog plant in Madison could soon be cooking up something very different: nuclear fusion research. A company called Rialta Fusion is looking at the old Oscar Mayer site on the city's east side as a possible home for a new research and development facility. The project could bring up to 200 jobs and more than $500 million in long-term investment. City leaders say the plan could turn an empty property into a major economic boost. The company is expected to choose between two sites as early planning moves forward. More news can be found at civicmedia.us.
The Brewers lose to the Padres. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports Baseball. Milwaukee's Jacob Mizorowski had another brilliant performance, retired 14 batters in a row, thrown 40 pitches at least 100 miles an hour through 7 innings. But in the ninth, with the Brewers hanging on to just a 1-0 lead, Milwaukee closer Abner Uribe gave up a 3-run homer to Gavin Sheets, and the Padres beat the Crew 3-1. Pat Murphy.
Yeah, 3-2 walk, single off the glove of our second baseman, and then hanging slider. It's Major League Baseball. The guys are capable. Hats off to Sheets. Great swing. Did it in the clutch.
After the loss, Uribe asked, did he leave the ball too high in the strike zone, and just how frustrated was he?
I think that you see what happened over there. We're never going to know what happened to the strikeout or whatever happened.
The two teams wrapping up the series today. Football, NFL schedules out tonight. The Packers will play L.A. on Wednesday, November 25th against the Rams the night before Thanksgiving. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Sunny and calm, a really nice day today. We'll get to around 65 for a high this afternoon. Tonight, becoming cloudy, low of 45. Tomorrow, breezy, partly cloudy, a sprinkle or two with a high right around 75. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable.
That's your Green Bay News Roundup from 97.9 WGBW. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And find more news anytime at WGBW.FM.